And this beautiful tree model for the trust, for the roots.
Yep.
I'm going to read this because it's well structured. The roots are the hidden foundation and are the human aspect of a team, the personal relationships and team climate. And I see three big categories there that are communication, conflicts, and belonging. So let's start with belonging.
Okay.
It's quite important.
So basically, to understand the structure so the trust, results, and evolution, these categories, they are what we call three primary aspects of a great team. Each primary aspect has some core elements within. So the belonging, communication, and conflicts are core to having a great human foundation of a team. Mm-hmm. The belonging part, basically, and this is part of what we do with the tool that scans, it's an assessment tool for your team dynamics. The belonging part is whether people actually feel they belong. If you ask people directly, so this is always an interesting aspect for tech leaders. If you ask people directly, even on one-on-ones, you might get the result you want. So yeah, it's great. Are you happy? Yeah, I'm happy. Is everything great? Yeah, I'm great. But if you know what are the low-level details of this belonging, you understand that what they say to you is different to what they feel or what the reality is. That's why we created this reality check to help leaders get quicker to these insights that are meaningful for them to make the positive changes they want to make. Because a lot of times tech leaders are working on symptoms. So belonging.
Example. This is really interesting. Example questions that are not loaded as do you belong here? Tell me, and I'm your direct manager. Yeah, thank you.
Well, I'll give you there is I would probably again jump ahead so that you can understand how we measure, how we can give you the tool for you to measure your team. So there is one the team scan that is actually a tool that measures your team based on the model. So the team scan is basically a survey and a report. The survey is given to all the team members to answer. We do some magic, and you get the report that gives you the insight, these powerful insights, and you can get this in days, or even if you organize yourself, you can get it in an hour. So the one aspect is, and I'll probably just open one here on my side, some questions so that I can see them. But one aspect is, are people interested in my work or in me personally? So, for example, if today...
This is the question that you, as someone who's taking the survey, is going to receive.
So if I ask you, has someone today asked you, how's your work doing, or how are you? People, it's a simple way to answer. So we've built simplicity in the scan. So basically you answer with the traffic light system. So either green, yeah, definitely people are interested in me, both professionally and personally, or somewhat sometimes this is the yellow aspect, or no, definitely not, is the red one. And if you have, so it's not, belonging is not only this question, of course, but if you have someone who is not in the green section, it's an indicator that they will subconsciously, by the way, feel that they don't belong. And I'll tell you a bit about belonging cues or belonging signals. So evolutionary wise, our brain is wired, the typical fight-flight response. So our brain is scanning our environment to understand whether we're at risk, whether there is something to be scared of. When the brain sees something dangerous, it goes into those modes, whether to run away or to stay and fight, or even freeze is a different response as well. However, when the brain recognizes that there is no danger around, the brain now looks for different signals. These are the belonging cues, belonging signals. And we're wired that we feel safer if we belong to a tribe, to a group.
Yeah. We're social animals.
Yes. And now this happens unconsciously. if people don't ask us how we feel, if people are, let's say, a good belonging queue, if people ask us how do you feel today, we understand it again subconsciously that we matter to them. If, for example, we're remote workers, so we work remotely, and for 2 days nobody ping us,
Even
how
better.
are you?
Yeah.
You feel that you're disconnected from these people. This is a negative belonging queue. So it's people are not sending you belonging signals. And then step by step, people will feel detached from the team, detached from the work. And there is actually a question. There's a statement, I often feel detached from work. And if you have a person who says yes, definitely, whether it's that the work is boring or something else, it doesn't matter the context. If you have several of these things, people get demotivated, they don't feel they are connected, they don't feel they belong. And if you ask them why, they will not be able to tell you. They will not be able to pinpoint, because nobody asks me how am I doing. But that's the idea, that what we've seen over the past years is that these little details, they build up, and then they give you the output. And then you have a symptom. Someone is late for our daily a few times this week, and you get this, but you could have find out a few months before, because sometimes it's too late to do any actionable steps. So this is a bit about belonging. One aspect that we've put into the belonging, it's something important, and it is actually very underestimated. And this is basically a lot of tech leaders, I would say, they're unaware that this is actually important, or they ignore it, is people having joy and fun at work. And
extremely important.
It's really, but I'll open my. We have from all the scans that we've done with teams, we have one big picture, let's say, sheet that we are looking, and like I recently shared an infographic. I think it was 59% of people don't have work, don't have fun at work, and then you're
what?
It was, again, it's based on a small amount of tech teams, but this is something we've coached 300 teams in the past, and you can actually see it when you start working with a team. Before we started the podcast, it's nowadays I measure this unconsciously, but whether you joke around, so we have Teddy here in the background.
Hey, Teddy.
And whether you joke that she's the boss here and something like that, it's actually an indicator of your environment. And I've seen plenty of times teams where we start working together with a new group. We do a break in our training session. We're going to do a break at some point with the podcast. And you see a lot of people there gathering their phones alone.
Everyone's
browsing.
isolated.
There is no chat. There is nothing. And I've seen a lot of teams that when you give a break, you see people starting talking. Oh, so how was the concert yesterday? It's entirely different environment.
It's
you
either
can see.
If they're forced to be a team while you're working with them, they will act as a team. But the very second that they no longer have to act, I'm a solo contributor.
So this is an indicator of not belonging.
So this is also also put this into belonging, and fun. You also put this into belonging.